We go to chapter 18, recruitment and selection. When we talk about recruitment, it's the end-to-end process of effectively and efficiently selecting, sourcing, employing workers. That's what recruitment is about. That means you are selecting, you are screening, you are sourcing for the right candidate, a suitable candidate for a job or for a position. That is what recruitment is. I think the point is clear. So let's just go down and see what they said here. Oh, okay, they start with types of employment. But before going to types of employment, what is employment itself? Employment is the relationship between two parties, which is the employer and the employee, trying to reach agreement in terms and conditions of paid labor service. The agreement between the employer and the employee. The employer is the person giving the business giving the job, and the employee is the person seeking for the job. So they are trying to reach an agreement in terms and conditions of paid service. That is what employment is. So we have different types of employment here. We have full-time employment. So when we talk about full-time employment, are you there?
Yes.
This is where a business takes on an employee who is expected to work the full working week. So you are in full-time employment if you are expected to work all through the week, or working days of the week. That is full-time employment. You get it? And for part-time employment, that means you are going to work few hours than full-time workers. You're going to work few hours than full-time workers. That's the difference between a full-time employer, a full-time employee, and a part-time employee. A full-time employee works throughout the weekdays, and a part-time employee works fewer hours than the full employee. I think the point is clear. Then we have job share too. For job share, this is where two or more people, mostly two people, have to divide the job of a full-time. So there's a full-time job. So we are supposed to work for 24 hours. Maybe we are supposed to work for 24 hours. So I'm going to work for the first 12 hours. You're going to work for the next 12 hours. That means we call it job share. Do you understand?
Yes.
You are sharing the job. You are dividing the job of a full-time worker.
Yes.
Do you understand? That is job share. Then we have other types of employment, which are one, casual employment. For casual employment, these are for casual workers who do not get any guarantee of work from the employer. So we call you a casual worker because you don't have any benefits. You are just going to work and get paid for the job you do. Nothing like sick leave, nothing like any employment. You're not going to get any employment benefits. You're just working, get your money, and that's all. Get your pay, and that's all. Nothing is attached to it. That's a casual worker or casual employee or casual employee or casual employment. Is it clear? For seasonal employment, this is where the business will need workers at a particular time of the year. We call it seasonal because the employee will be needed at a particular point in time, at a particular time in the year. Maybe during winter, we need some workers. So that is a seasonal employee. If it is, during the summer, we need workers, that is a seasonal employee. Oh, during Christmas, we need workers, that is seasonal employee. Oh, during Ramadan, we need workers, that is seasonal employee. Is it clear? Then we have temporary employment or temporary employee. Sometimes businesses need to take on staff for a short period of time to cover for absent workers. So we call it temporary because you are just going to cover up for certain individual who is not available right now. So, or Mr. X is not available today, or he's not going to be available for the next few days. So we need someone to cover up for that. They're not going to employ full-time worker for that. They're not going to employ part-time worker for that. They only need that person to just work for that period of time.
Yes.
So that's what we call temporary employment. Is it clear? Is it clear, please?
Yes.
So we'll go to recruitment and selection itself. So we'll go to recruitment itself. For recruitment is the act of recruiting workers. That means you are selecting, you are sourcing, you are selecting, you are sourcing, you are trying to find a suitable candidate for a vacant position. That is recruitment. Do you understand recruitment there? So you already said in a large business, the human resources department is responsible for employing staff. So a business may need new staff because what? So when it comes to recruitment, it means we need to select somebody to fill up a vacant position. But in every organization, this kind of responsibility is carried out, or this type of task is carried out by the human resources department. So the human resources department is the department that is saddled with the responsibility of recruitment and HR. And recruitment and selecting workers. That's what the HR do. I think it's clear.
Yes.
Great. So why do businesses want to recruit? What are the reasons why businesses might want to recruit? One, the business is expanding and more labor is needed. If the business is expanding and it needs more workers, then especially if it is labor-intensive business. So that means if it's expanding, it needs more labor, it needs more workers, and you have to recruit. Two, people are leaving and they need to be replaced. Another reason why firms or businesses would want to recruit is because some workers are leaving. And if they are leaving, that means there's a vacant position. There are vacant positions. Those vacant positions have to be filled up. So that's why they're going to recruit. Do you get the second point there? The third point, positions have become vacant owing to promotion. Some workers have been promoted. And if workers are promoted, that means they have been elevated. So that means if I'm in this stage or in this step and I've been moved up, then this position is vacant, is free. Someone has to fill in the position. So sometimes firms will recruit workers because there's a vacant position due to promotion. So there's a vacant position due to what? Promotion. That's the reason why we are employing. Is it clear?
Yes.
The next one, people are required for a temporary period to cover staff absence owing to maternity leave or paternity leave. So a firm might recruit temporary worker because there's an individual that is going to go for a vacation for a short period of time. Then he or she needs to be replaced. Another reason why businesses would want to recruit. Is it clear?
Yes.
We'll go to recruitment stages in recruitment process, because you can't just employ workers without going through those stages of recruitment. You can't just employ them. You need to know them. And how do you know your workers? How do you know the potential employee? You get to know them through recruitment process. So let's say the whole recruitment process may be broken down into a number of stages, which are shown below. So the first stage is to identify the number and type of staff that need to be recruited. So the first stage of recruitment to me is vacancy available. There's a vacant position. So there's a vacant position. So if there are vacant positions, that means those positions have to be filled up. That is why they call it identifying the number and type of staff they need, that the business needs to recruit. Because the vacancy is open, there are vacancies. So because there are vacancies, it means that we have identified that these positions have to be filled up. That is the first stage. Do you get the first stage? Then the second stage is finding the right people. And how do you get the right people? Through job description and person specification. To get the right person for that position, you need to get the right person, you need job description and person specification. Job description talks about the responsibility, the task that will be carried out in that position. That is job description. Then the person specification, the skills, the qualification needed to perform that task or to carry out that task. So that is the way you can, employ the right person. So the right person will come through job specification and job description and person specification. Do you understand person specification here? We're talking about the skills, the knowledge, the qualification of that person. And job description is the task, the responsibility that the person will carry on with in that position. That was the second. Then we go to jobs. Now they said the next one is advertising cost. Advertising. So now that you've understood the kind of person you needed for the job, I'm just going to go through now let's use the stages they use here. First, identify the type and the number of staff needed. That is vacant positions. Two, prepare a job description and person specification, which talks about the qualification needed and the responsibility of that person when he takes or she takes up the position. The third stage is advertising using appropriate media. So now that we've known the kind of workers we need and the type of qualification they need to have, then we have to decide if we need workers within the business or outside of the business. From external, we have internal and external recruitment. So if you need workers from internal, if you need workers in between, if you need workers from within the business, that is internal. If you need workers from outside the business, that is external. Do you get it? So that tells us.
Because telling you now.
Okay, sure. It's all right. So now we continue with the process of recruitment. advertising using appropriate media. For advertisement, now that the position is vacant, you know the kind of workers you need. You need to advertise. How do you can't just advertise. What you need is to understand if you need workers within or from outside the business. So if you need workers from within the business, that means it's internal recruitment. You don't need to use advertisement. You can just send mail or memo. But if you need workers from outside the business, then you have to find the appropriate media, maybe national newspaper, maybe social media. You need to find appropriate media to use. That is what advertising is about. Then as soon as that is done, a lot of people would send in their application. Do you get it? So that takes you to evaluate applicants and select a shortlist for interview. You know, people now know about your company looking for employees. So a lot of applications will be a lot of people, potential employees, will send in their applications. So it is for you, for the business, for the human resources department to select or to evaluate the applicants. So when they evaluate their application forms, then they will invite them for interview. That is the next stage. That's the fourth stage. Then the fifth stage is where they provide feedback for unsuccessful candidates. No, they carry out interview, sorry. The fifth stage is to carry out interview. Now you've invited them for interviews. As soon as you invite them for the interview, they come for the interview. So when they come for the interview, the interviewer and the interviewer, which is the part of the human resources department, will interview the interviewee, who are the applicants. So as soon as that is done, they evaluate the interviews. They evaluate the interviewees to know if you have done well or not. You don't get it. You know, it's interview. There will be those applicants or those that have sent in their application will be interviewed. So when they are being interviewed, they will check them, they will test them to see their skills and knowledge. If it matches what is required of the job. And if they have the right qualification. That is what recruitment is about. So during the interview, the interviewer will assess the interviewee to see if he or she is capable. Do you get it? As soon as that is done, then the right applicant, the right candidate will be chosen. That is the sixth stage. After the evaluation, if they are good or not. So that would be the sixth stage. Then the seventh stage is when you have to give feedback to those unsuccessful candidates. You know, you have selected the ones you needed. Those ones that do not meet the criteria, or those ones that the business think they don't qualify, or they are not qualified enough, will be given a feedback that, oh, please try next time. Do you understand? So these are the stages of recruitment. I'm going to say it again. You identify the kind of job, or there's going to be a vacant position. As soon as the vacant position is there, you identify the kind of workers needed and the numbers of workers needed. That is the first stage. The second stage is when you prepare the job description and person specification to get the right person for that position. The third stage is either you need to decide if it is internal or external. Do you understand? The fourth stage is when you evaluate the applicants, then you call them for interview. When you call them for interview, you evaluate their interviews, the interviewee, if they want to be employed, you employ them. And those that are not successful will be given a response to that. Oh, sorry, we'll get back to you in the next time we need recruitment. But right now, we can't recruit you. Is it clear? So that takes us to recruitment documents. Yeah, I've explained job description, person specification. I've explained all these ones. So now we just go down to application form. I've explained job description. Yeah, application form. Yeah, because we have explained these ones. Job description, person specification, I've explained them before. Yeah, I've explained them. So we go to application form. Many businesses use application forms to gather information from job applicants. It is a standard form, and every applicant will be expected to submit a list of information on the form. One advantage is that it ensures the same data, the mistake there, it ensures the same data is collected from each applicant, which makes comparison between them easier. The following list includes the most common information requested. So for application form, It's the same form, it's a standard form, it's a standardized form, which all applicants will fill. So your information is going to it's going to be your information, it's going to be my own information, but we'll be able to compare your information with my own information. The Human Resources Department will be able to compare the information of applicants to see which one suits their request.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So what are those things that are common in, what are those information requested for? What are the kind of information or the items in the application form? One, the full name and address of the other contacts and other contact details. That means your name, your address, and those that we can contact in case we need to reach you and we cannot reach you. So you need to put it in the application form. Two, personal or tax identification numbers, such as national insurance or numbers. Maybe even your national ID card or your international passport number, it needs to be there. Details of education, that's your credentials, your qualifications, it needs to be there. Employment history, where you have worked in the past, it needs to be there. Other relevant experiences and qualifications, maybe you did some courses, it has to be there. Then a statement from the applicants as to why they applied for the post and the reason why they should be appointed. Yeah, this is what we call application letter. It has to be there. You have to attach it to it. Hobbies and interests, what you like doing and what are those things that suit you, that you really want to do. Names and address of 2 referees. So those people that can recommend you, that's, oh, he's a good person, he has worked with us before. You need to put names and address of them, at least 2. A declaration of any health issues that might impede the fulfillment of an applicant's duties. Your health certificate should be there to know if you are healthy or not. Is it clear?
Yes.
Then we have the curriculum vitae or the resume. So this is similar to an application form. However, a CV is not a standard document. It contains most of the information given in a job application form, but it is produced by the job seeker and is therefore personalized. So for the CV, the CV is not an application form, but it is a personal information about you. So it's your credentials, all information about your certificate, all information about your date of birth, your country, your status, marital status, whatever you need, whatever it's yours, who you are, your identity.
Yes.
Everything about you will be recorded, will be stated in the CV, which you have to attach with the application form. Is it clear?
Yes.
We have a case study, but we don't need that now. We've got on. Then we have types of recruitment. We have internal and external recruitment. Are you there?
Yes.
So they said one way of recruiting staff is to appoint someone who already works for the business. This is called internal recruitment. I told you earlier. Internal recruitment means you are employing workers from within the business. What are the advantages of internal recruitment? One, it is cheaper because it saves on advertising. You don't have to advertise. So yeah, there's no expenses on advertisement. That's the first advantage. Is it clear?
Yes.
The second one, internal recruits are familiar with company policy and working practices because they're working in the business already. So they know more. They know the culture. They know everything about the business.
Yes.
That's the second advantage there. The third one, staff may be more motivated if they know there is a chance for promotion. You know, we said one of the reasons why we employ workers is because there's a promotion. So whenever there's a vacant position for promotion, the Human Resources Department employs workers or selects workers from within. This will motivate other employees to do well because they know if they do well, they might be employed, they might be recruited or selected for promotion.
Yes.
Do you get it?
Yes.
So the ability, personality, attitude, and potential of the person appointed will be more predictable. This is what they mean. When you are employing internally, you know the employees well, and the employees know the employer well because they've been working together before. Is it clear?
Yes.
So all businesses have to use external recruitment. This is where new staff are recruited from outside the business. For external, that means you are employing new workers into the business. So what are the advantages? One, a business will have a much larger pool of potential employees to choose from. You know, when you make the vacancies public, it means a lot of applicants will apply. Yes or no?
Yes.
That means you will be able to choose the best among the rest, because a lot of people who want to will apply. 2, a new person may be very talented and have some fresh ideas, which could help the business become more competitive. So when you are employing from outside the business, the person might be coming with ideas or experience that the others in the company do not have, and that will be helpful. Do you get the point there? Now we go to job advertisement. For job advertisement, a perfect job advertisement will stand a good chance of attracting a small number of perfectly suitable candidates for the job. However, it is not always possible to design such perfect advertisement. Some of the important pieces of information that are likely to be included in a job advert are, so now that you've decided to make it external, that means you have to advertise, and your advert must be effective for you to be able to attract the right candidates. So what are those things that will be part of your advertisement? Job title.
Yes.
Because your application for what? Oh, vacancy. Oh, accountant are needed. So you have to write the job title, the name, address, email, and telephone number of employer, brief details of job description. That means the task that the person has to carry out. The person specification has to be there. The amount of the salary and other benefits will be stated, and method of application. Is it online or it has to be written? You have to decide. Do you get the point there?
Yes.
Okay. So a business has to choose which media to use when placing the advert. So you have to choose the right media for the advert.
Yes.
So then we go to shortlisting. What will happen with shortlisting? After the interview, now once the deadline has been reached for receiving application forms, the next stage in the recruitment process is to select a small group of candidates suitable for interviewing. So shortlisting means out of 1,000 or 100 applicants, we are selecting 20 out of them. That is, we are shortlisting 20 out of them. So these 20 people will be called for interview, which will be the next stage, which is interviewing. During the interview, those individuals that are coming for the interview, we call them interviewee. And the business the human resources department, the staff or the workers in the human resources department that's going to interview them are the interviewers, yes. Okay? So they said job applicants that have been, okay, yeah. Interviews can be used to, 1, help clarify information on the application form. So what are the reasons why we have interview? Are you there?
Yes.
The reasons why we have interview is, 1, to confirm what the documents you have given to us, your CV, we want to confirm if it's really yours. Sometimes the CV looks like a lion and the interviewee is just like a dog. The CV is rich, but the person is not. It doesn't have anything upstairs. So this is where they confirm. 2, assess personality, motivation, attitude, commitment, and communication skills. So you need to see the individual if he has that communication skills. We talked about communication. When we talk about communication, we said the firm or the business must employ the right person. So to employ the right person, you need interview to know. Clear?
Yes. Challenge
candidates by asking searching questions such as how they might deal with a specific work-related problem. When they are during the interview, you ask them questions, you drill them to know if they are capable or if they are up to the task or not. Is it clear?
Yes.
So we'll go to the multiple choice questions. The first one says, which of the following is an example of an open question in an interview? Open question. Let me explain what an open question is. An open question is a question that allows you to give your opinion about the answer.
It's not a video. B.
I just told you that it is a question that allows you to give your opinion.
C.
C. Question 2. Which of the following information is likely to appear on an application form? On the application form.
B.
Applicant gender, name of 2 referees, applicant marital status. applicant's political preferences. Which of the following information is likely to appear on the application form?
Name. B.
B, name of two referees.
Yes.
All right. The third, that's question. Yeah, question 3. The process of sorting through application forms to select a small group of candidates suitable for interviewing is what? The process of sorting through application forms to select a small group of candidates suitable for interview is what?
Testing.
No, shortlisting.
Okay.
We said it. When I told you, I said you can have 1,000 people or 100 people. Then you select 20. Yeah, that means you are shortlisting 20. I said that now. Shortlisting. And the last question. A catering company has got a contract to provide a food service at a weekend. What type of employee might be recruited for 1 week only to help out?
Food service.
Yeah. Just for 1 week to help out.
Full time.
To help out, just for 1 week to help out.
1 week.
Casual.
B, casual.
Casual
Yes.
worker.
Yes.
Because nothing is attached to you. You just need it for that time and that's all.
Yes.
Is it clear? So that ends chapter 18.